Hello, welcome back to Zikism Wrestling. SummerSlam is this weekend. I may have made a video that, well, relatively little people watched anyway, but it basically saying the build to SummerSlam hasn't been great, if we're being totally honest. That said, I'm a little bit more pumped now. It's sort of on the horizon. It's here. Anyway, this is a predictions video. You're going to hear my predictions for the card, and we'll go into it. So, SummerSlam Night 1, they've announced the matches that I went into in that video for Night 1. And they've announced that the main event is going to be Gunther versus CM Punk, which is surprising. I thought it would be the Roman Reigns Jey Uso tag team match, but nevertheless, it's you know, may something big may go down. Is that why it's main eventing? Who knows? We'll get into the card though. Predictions time. We'll start with Sami Zayn versus my man Carrion Cross. Sami Zayn, Carrion Cross. I want to say Carrion. I really do. I want to say Carrion because I think this is the time where you reward the momentum he's building, and I think he is building momentum online. Not on screen. Very little time is devoted to him on screen, if I'm honest. Despite the fact he's been doing good work off screen himself to sort of build a fan base and a momentum, and people want to see him do well. But you could argue, and I'm sure they would, that him being in a feud with Sami helps build him anyway, and I'm sure that's probably what their thinking is. But I think that Carrion got a win over Sami. It was a jaded one and with interference, but he got a win over Sami on Raw, I think for that reason, because they knew he was going to lose at this pay-per-view. So yeah, Sami Zayn I think is going to get the win. What this does for Carrion, well, like I said, they'll say he's in a feud with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn I think is going to be a world champion in the next 12 to 18 months. I think they're telling that story with a deliberate purpose. But I think, yeah, I mean, Sami's probably going to win this and move on from Carrion, because I think there's only a certain amount you can do with this feud, with Carrion attacking Sami constantly and go rinse and repeat. But yeah, I think Sami Zayn's going to get the win here and move on from Carrion post SummerSlam. Next match on the card that I'm looking at is Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Bronn Breakker and Bronson Reed. I'd be shocked if it was this early down the card. Shocked. But we've got Roman Reigns returning from his sabbatical, from post-Mania sabbatical, to team with Jey Uso against Bronn Breakker and Bronson Reed. Now, allegedly, this was supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Seth before his injury. Yeah, which is you know, that whole injury angle is bizarre. I think, is it legit? I'm sure it is legit. But I think there is some behind the scenes machinations going on to make it. It seems it's very odd. If someone was injured like Liv, you see everything, don't you? You see sort of her get injured. You sort of see the reports saying she's injured. She's going for surgery. She's doing we haven't heard anything like that for Seth. Not one. So that's why myself and other fans smell a rat a little bit with this. And we may return to that later on in the night. But for this match, Roman and Jey versus Bronn and Bronson, I think Roman and Jey are winning this. I don't see particularly why Bronn and Bronson get the win. They probably should need it, because they're in Seth's absence being positioned as sort of big threats on Raw. But I think for now you can't see anything but a Roman Reigns doesn't lose, and Jey Uso probably needs the win after losing the world title. So it probably makes more sense that they get the win more so than Bronn and Bronson, who are again still sort of trying to build credibility as threats. But I mean, they're in same reason with Sami and Carrion. They're in a match with Roman Reigns. That's their sort of luster and that's their shine. And I'm sure there'll be some mugging between Roman and Paul Heyman as the match goes on. But yeah, that's Roman and Jey for the win, obviously. Next up on my list is the Women's Tag Team Championships, Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Both these teams are very, very likable. I like them a lot. I mean, you'll know, I'm a big Judgment Day fan anyway. I think Roxanne's been a great addition to it for storyline reasons and for legit reasons as well, because I think she's a really good wrestler. And I love her sort of, the way she slotted in and sort of carried on the story. They've done a good job actually weaving Liv's injury into the stories themselves. And I think, Raquel sort of taking a bit of time to sort of warm herself to Roxanne, and Roxanne having to prove herself a little bit to Raquel. It's been very charming. I think that's worked quite well. Raquel Rodriguez is a superstar. I think she's destined for a world title in the next 12 to 18 months as well, similar to Sami Zayn. But Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair as well. This is what Charlotte needed. I think I'm surprised at how effective it's been, but it's been brilliant. I think Charlotte Flair has... This is the Charlotte I see in interviews, or have done for the last 10 years. You sort of her natural self, having fun. I don't know her personally, obviously, but from the Charlotte I see in interviews is not the Charlotte I see in the ring. Now, maybe that's obviously a deliberate choice, but it's so... Even when she was like a babyface in, 2018? You didn't see this side of her on TV. This legit, sort of charming, I'm just out there to have fun sort of side. You didn't. It was I have to prove myself. And yeah, that takes you some way, but I think we're now in a position where we want to see Charlotte Flair just... Because, look, her record and her legacy speaks for itself. She's legit. She's 14-time world champion. She's going to break her dad's record of 16. Not that that's a record she needs to break. It's just... She's one of, if not the best female performers in the world. If not wrestlers in the world in general. And, the disrespect she's had this year, some of it's been earned. Some of it's really harsh and unknown, to be honest. But I'm glad she's getting her flowers a little bit, and it's come quicker than I thought it would. I thought it would take a bit of time for people to warm to her as well, but honestly, I think I did a video about this as well, but her being outside the world title picture does her the world of good. Her being outside of any sort of, I don't want to say, like, she's not up against sort of people want to cheer. Like, people wanted to cheer Tiffany against her for whatever reason, but I think pairing her with Alexa, having a sort of mini storyline of them sort of frenemies or whatever they're calling themselves has worked. It's more effective than I thought I gave it credit for. And the two of them together have so much chemistry. I'm picking them for the win on this. I think they're picking up the titles, because I think if they lose, I don't see where they go from here, because obviously they've had 2 cracks at the belts and it hasn't worked, and they'll move on. But I would keep this going, because I think it's doing Charlotte the world of good. I think it's doing Alexa the world of good, because it's getting her in a story that's outside of the Wyatts, which we're told, we think, or we thought is, we're told, we think is going to be the direction she's going to go in the future. This could actually play in to that story quite well if the Wyatts, who are being positioned as quite heelish, start to manipulate Alexa and Charlotte in, 3 or 4 months' time. Start to maneuver that friendship into a more of a... Because Alexa's getting cheered. Alexa's getting huge cheers ever since she came back in January. The Wyatts could start to twist and maneuver that for their own end, and then we get a Charlotte-Alexa feud going into Mania next year. I don't know. Speculating. Anyway, I'm a big fan of all these 4 women. Alexa and Charlotte for the win. Next up, the big celebrity match. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Randy and Jelly aren't losing this. Come on, it's Drew and Logan losing. It's been a weird week for this one, because last week we had Jelly Roll presenting the Jimmy Kimmel show, and they kept the feud going. Jelly Roll chokeslammed Logan through the table, and anyway, since this was announced the Saturday night's main event, it's been a sort of, what, really, that's happening? Okay, well, and WWE and everyone associated likes to tell us Jelly Roll is doing his work. He's doing legit work. Look, it's a celebrity match. These are a sign of the times. I mean, Logan Paul being in a match is a celebrity match by default. Sorry, I don't recognise him as a legit wrestler just yet. I don't see him doing one-on-one matches and controlling the flow of the match and all that sort of thing. So it's a celebrity match. It's fine. It has a place on the card. I'm not going to be overly harsh with it, but I don't think it's going to be the most entertaining. Well, sorry. I don't think it's going to be the most wrestling match you've ever seen in your life. I think Jelly Roll's going to pin Logan Paul for the win. I think they're setting that one up. But yeah, anyway, there we go. Expect them to drop them on SmackDown later on tonight. So yeah, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll for the win, to summarise. Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. This is a bizarre choice, I think. For Jade Cargill still feels not ready. And I may be being harsh on that. I just don't think she's... I don't want to say proved herself, because that sounds harsh. And I do like Jade Cargill, by the way. But her in-ring isn't brilliant. Her positioning hasn't been brilliant either. And that's down to creative. That's not down to her. I don't think she's been in enough story. She's had the story with Naomi and Bianca. That's about it. And there really wasn't too much of a resolution to that. There were. I mean, obviously she won the no holds barred. What was it? No DQ match at Evolution, which was a great match, by the way, as all the matches on that card were. But it was yeah, I just feel it's a bit too soon. But she's Queen of the Ring. She gets the title shot. The Money in the Bank's gone, which I thought was going to be the result of this match, but that's gone. She cashed in, Naomi cashed in on Io and Rhea. So she's the champion of Raw. So yeah, there's going to be a legit winner in this. And I mean, it feels like it's going to be Jade Cargill, but it feels too soon for me. And the only other caveat, which why it might not be, is that Jade's got a film. She's supposed to be filming a film in the near future. So I don't know whether she can do that at the same time as being world champion. You could argue the same thing about Cody. But yeah, I'm going to pick Jade Cargill for the win, because I think that's what's going to happen. Because Tiffany's reign has sort of been slowed down. It's slowed down slightly. And I don't... If Jade is going to have to film a film, I don't know when else you put the title on her. But I'm surprised. I thought this would be the Money in the Bank cash-in match. But nevertheless, I think Jade Cargill for the win, personally. And then we have the World Championship match. Gunther versus CM Punk. It's been confirmed it's going to be the main event, which surprised me. I thought it would be the Roman Reigns one. But I think there's a reason it's going to be the main event. CM Punk, he won the gauntlet match on Raw a few weeks ago to become the #1 contender to Gunther. This has been a feud of promos, basically. I think promo offs. I think Punk's won over every single one, though, with respect to Gunther. I don't think... Although Gunther's just laughed off everything he's told him, so I don't know, go figure. For me, personally, I think there's a chance. And I think there's a chance that Seth Rollins is going to cash in. Or that there is going to be a cash in. Now, here's the thing. There's 3 things that's going to happen. Well... There's 4 things that are going to happen, but in my head, there's 3 things that are going to happen. Either Gunther wins, because I don't think CM Punk's going to pick up the belt. I don't think Punk's beating Gunther a month into his title reign, or just over a month. Because otherwise, why would you put it on Gunther in the first place? Other than just being a transitional champion, which Gunther is way above Gunther. So Gunther, I think, is going to win legit. Seth Rollins has been faking his knee injury, or sort of semi-faking his knee injury. He's going to cash in to win. Or they use Bronn Breakker cashing in Seth's briefcase to cash in and win the belt. I don't know. It's an interesting conundrum. It'd be a really interesting choice. I think that's probably the choice I would prefer to see, because then the Money in the Bank's not going to waste. You sort of... I don't want to say get out of the way, but you sort of use it in a creative way, which is always the sort of staple of a Money in the Bank. You want it to be a bit different every year. So that'd be interesting. But then you'd argue, well, here we go with the James Ellsworth situation. He didn't win the briefcase. How has he got possession of it? You could argue Paul Heyman's a political maneuverer. I don't know. I don't know what you do with that. But it'll be interesting to see them explain that if it does happen. So, no, I'm going to go with the likely outcome. I think Seth's going to cash in. I think that's most likely, because it's so weird. The injury angle has been so bizarre. Really bizarre. And I think they're deliberately, for whatever reason, leaving it a bit mysterious. Like, ooh, well, he's injured, right? And then, you know, sort of shrugging at the same time. You're like, okay, there's something a bit more to this than what we're seeing. And, you know, we've seen them fake the viral thing before. Everyone who's just watched WWE Unreal will know that they massively fake things for the viral reaction. So it could have been absolutely planted that he was going to go, you know, say the F word and sort of limp out of Saturday Night's main event. But the weird thing is that LA Knight got the win as well, though. That's the thing. They've done a good job in sowing seeds of doubt, because, yeah, LA Knight got the win. And even he didn't look happy with it. He could just be a great actor. But what's he done with that win since? Nothing. He's not even on the card for SummerSlam. So it's a bizarre situation. And so yeah, I'm going to go with a Seth Rollins cash-in. Failing that, I think Gunther's beating CM Punk. I don't think... Not that CM Punk's not ready for the world title, but I think you build to Punk, right? Punk Seth next year at Mania, and Punk having the title now doesn't make a lot of sense because you want him to win it at Mania. But I would. I don't know. This is the only match on the card I've got doubts about. I'm not sure which way to go. I'm going to go for a legit Gunther win. Failing that, a Seth cash in. So I'll put nail my colours to the mask. Gunther beats Punk, legit. Gunther beats Punk, legit. Okay, there you go. in a really good match, I think it'll be a good match. Although Punk is slower nowadays, so that might help Gunther. Anyway, there you go. That's my night one predictions. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comment section below. Leave me a like or subscribe. That always helps the channel. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.